Hi everyone, my name is Jake and I'm 12 years old. I'm here today to share a little bit about my life, what it's been like to grow up with three heads. Yeah, you heard that right, three heads. It's a lot to take in, I know. For me, it's just my life, but for a lot of people, it's something they've never even imagined. From the moment I was born, things were complicated. My parents said the doctors didn't even know what to say at first. They kept whispering and bringing more and more people into the room to stare at me. Eventually, one of them just said, "He's a miracle." And that was that. I don't remember any of that, obviously, but I've heard the stories enough times to know it by heart. Growing up, I've always been different. I mean, how could I not be? I've got three heads. My parents named us all. Jake, that's me, the one talking to you right now. Max, who's usually the calm and quiet one. And Leo, who's got a bit of a temper but a good heart. We share one body, but we each have our own personality, our own thoughts, and our own ways of seeing the world. You'd think having three heads would make life easier, like maybe we'd be 3 times as smart or something, but honestly, it's been more of a challenge than anything else. School, for example, is tough. Imagine trying to take a test when one head wants to focus, another wants to daydream, and the third is just trying to tell you a joke because they're bored. Yeah, not easy. But school isn't the hardest part. The hardest part is other people. Kids can be cruel, and when you're as different as I am, it's like you got a giant target on your back. I can't even count the number of times I've been called a freak or a monster. Some kids would laugh at me, others would just stare like I was some kind of science experiment. I remember this one time in 3rd grade when a kid named Dylan decided it would be funny to call me Three-Faced Jake in front of the whole class. Everyone laughed. Even the teacher smiled a little before telling him to stop. That hurt more than anything Dylan said. It was like I didn't even deserve respect from the adults who were supposed to protect me, but it's not all bad. I've learned a lot from being different. For one thing, I've learned who my real friends are. My best friend, Olivia, has been by my side since kindergarten. She says she doesn't even notice the extra heads anymore. To her, I'm just Jake, and that means the world to me. My family's been amazing, too. My mom always tells me that being different is a gift, not a curse. My dad says I'm the strongest person he knows. And my little sister, she thinks having 3 heads is the coolest thing ever. She calls us her big brothers and likes to draw pictures of us as superheroes. Speaking of superheroes, that's kind of how I try to think about myself. I may not have super strength or the ability to fly, but I've got something else. Resilience. I've learned to bounce back from every insult, every stare, every moment when I felt like I didn't belong. And that's not something you're born with. That's something you earn by going through tough times and coming out stronger on the other side. But it's not just about me. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that everyone's dealing with something. Maybe it's not as obvious as 3 heads, but it's there. Some people struggle with being too shy, others with feeling like they're not good enough. We all have our own battles. Mine just happens to be a little more visible than most. If there's one thing I want you to take away from my story, it's this. Being different doesn't make you less. It makes you unique. It makes you you. And yeah, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it feels like the whole world is against you, but those are the moments that make you stronger. Those are the moments that show you what you're really made of. So, yeah, I've had my fair share of hardships, but I wouldn't trade my life for anything. Because every challenge, every obstacle, every tough day has made me who I am. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of me, and I hope no matter what you're going through, you can be proud of yourself too. Thank you.
I was just a child, so small and bright. The world seemed golden, bathed in light. With wisdom rare, you filled my mind. A gift so pure, so undefined. But the storms rolled in, the skies turned gray, and everything I loved was swept away. I cried out, Father, where are you now? In the silence I heard somehow. Through the shadows you were there. In the song like sunshine chased fear away. Papa said, child, keep God in your heart, for even when life tears us apart. But they left this world on a fateful night, and I was lost in endless fright. I cried out, Lord, why did you take them home? But in my grief, I wasn't alone. Through the shadows, you were there. In the sorrow, you still care. When my heart broke, you held the pieces. In the darkness, your love increases. Oh Lord, you'll never let me go. Through the shadows, I've come to know. I've walked the valley of the shadow of death. With every tear I felt your breath. You whispered, child, my plans are good. Hold on to me like I said you should. Now I see your hand in every part, restoring hope to the shattered heart. Through the shadows,